Hello Gemini, I am going to be doing a little bit of a different style video today than my norm. I'm going to be looking at the next 2 months for you, November and December, and just doing some quick predictions around what is going to be unfolding for you over the next 2 months, okay? So I am sitting here at 39 weeks pregnant at this time. Transiting Neptune is about to move back onto my sun in Pisces. So at the moment I'm feeling really in tune. The veil is very thin in my world at the moment. The veil is very thin at this time of the year, regardless, of course. But I have been feeling like a really strong charge around prophecy and synchronicity, and I really wanted to maximize that and use that energy to channel some more predictive kind of forecasts for each sign of the zodiac, okay? So grab your journal, grab your notes app, and let's see what's coming up for you this November. This won't be too lengthy. If you're joining me again, welcome back. This is not really going to be like my typical sort of more deep dive shadow work kind of soulful reading that I would do for each sign each month. And if you're joining for the first time, welcome. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Let's look at November 2025 for Gemini. Your October reading that has passed will obviously be a little bit more in depth than what is about to come through here. So I have the King of Swords, the Emperor, and the Two of Pentacles. Only if a major arcana card like the Emperor presents, I will be clearing it up. Okay, so November, you're going to be dealing with a very powerful, formidable, even authoritative, masculine energy. So this could come up by the way of some sort of professional who may or may not be intimidating, a father figure, a boss, some sort of a patriarchal figure. So this could come through in your personal life with a family member, of course, a doctor though, a lawyer, somebody in the financial sort of sector who's offering you advice or opinion, a therapist, a landlord or landlady, somebody with some sort of dominion or status or influence. This could also come through a bit more abstractly, like for some reason you're intertwined with someone from government, someone in your company at a higher level. Now, could it be, Gemini, that you're embodying, we have another major arcana card coming through as I cleared up the major Emperor. Okay, could it be, Gemini, that this November you're embodying something of this nature? Somebody with influence, somebody in a leadership role, somebody who is getting their master's, a doctorate, you know, something that's quite like seen at least through the eyes of others or through the kind of societal norms or the patriarchy or whatever you want to call it itself, to be something like with a placard or a name attached to it or some lettering attached to it or something like that. So the November looks to be a time where you are at the very least encountering men, singular, plural, whether you're kind of in allegiance with them. I don't see like opposition. I don't see that these people are in any way disempowering from your perspective. I don't get the impression that they're thwarting your efforts, but they are here in some way. That's interesting. Another kind of a king energy coming through from the other deck. Father of Wands would be seen as the King of Wands in the deck that I'm just using. for the November, it's like these people are people of stature, some sort of members of the world, society, your family, around your living situation and professional world, that kind of like you have to abide by they're not dictators, although you may sometimes experience them to be petty tyrants in your world. I don't know if these are going to be people that you find to be standing in your way this month. Where November is just a time where you need to play by the rules a little more, where you need to accept certain limitations. This month you may align yourself with a professional aid of some sort of counsel or a representative that is extremely useful. The other thing that could be happening is a promotion of sorts. The Emperor can speak to those of you who are gravitating towards leadership roles, entrepreneurship, or more visibility and reach in terms of your career and your standing in terms of, team lead or managing groups of people in a bigger way. I think though, for the most part, there is a little bit of confusion in November around where you stand in terms of power dynamics. Overall, I don't see the King of Swords and the Emperor as necessarily forces that would work against you or to stop you or to slow your roll. They could present some sort of uncertainty and unanswered questions, however. The Moon card can be quite murky, and at times the Moon card can even represent some anxiety. So you may just get the impression that there are strong characters in your timeline in November that can't quite figure out, or you're waiting on their approval or their say or their point of view or perspective. Now the month of November is ending on some sort of a cliffhanger with the Two of Pentacles. Fear not, because we're about to look at December. I'm using another deck to see if we're getting any duplicating cards, to see if essentially November is bleeding into December with themes and storylines. But in terms of your finances in November, I would get the impression that there is an opportunity for you in November to allocate either your funds, your resources, your finances to a cause that is, worth the investment, worth the look at, okay? So, you've got some flexibility with your finances in November. You have choices to make, and you have to basically weigh up the pros and cons. Should I spend on X or Y? Should I invest my time or energy here or there? Where should I pull back? Where should I go more gung-ho? So you are back and forward in a sort of weighing up phase, especially when it comes to your money, your skills, where you're thinking about improving yourself, improving your home, improving your prospects. It could be a very standout month for your career and professional life, but that does not necessarily mean for everybody that it's going to be completely plain sailing. I think that you will get what you will get out in November what you put in, meaning there are very powerful forces here, but there is still some doubt and indecision, which is quite equally strong. So it depends where you're at, and there's no right or wrong. It just depends where you're at, Gemini, on your particular individual journey as to what your soul needs at this time in November to evolve and grow. So that will be not taking challenges personally, but also seeing where you are making strides ahead and forwards as more than what meets the eye. It's not just having professional or personal success or breakthroughs, Actually, what's happening on a little bit more of a deeper level is conquering some subconscious fears, the Moon card, that have been potentially laying dormant, or I've just seen at the bottom of this deck, Eight of Swords, keeping you trapped for a while. Let's move to December now. December, we have the Eight of Wands, the Six of Cups in reverse, and the Three of Cups in reverse. Eight of Wands, Six and Three of Cups reversed. Okay. For a lot of us, December is a very sociable time. It's a fiery time of the year, Sagittarius season. The sort of energy is around momentum, but if we were to actually go below the surface there, I think that December, it begins to morph into more so a time towards the end of the month of kind of withdrawal, hibernation, some sort of a desire to reflect and kind of come inwards. And I think that's basically how the month of December looks for you. It starts off really fast paced. There could be travel at the beginning of December. There could be a lot to do, many places to go, many visits, and there could be a lot of conversation and correspondence. You could be networking. You basically might be putting, to me, this Eight of Wands looks like a wheel here, and like a lightning strike is just kind of set into the circuit and it gets things moving. I believe that this lightning strike is coming from an external source. I don't know if that's you with a wand itself kind of generating this force. I have a feeling that this Eight of Wands for you, Gemini, is more about the synchronization of external events in your world that somehow get things up and running or continue a certain momentum you may have been experiencing as of now, as of through November into December. So the wheels are continuing, or maybe even starting to turn in a more obvious way for you, but you're quite back and forward around your direction still in December. You seem to still be, on one hand, eager to roll with the punches. Sounds as if it's a bit more challenging, but you're eager to kind of keep the momentum going. And I get the impression that, you know, your inbox is going to be very full. You're going to be very much you know, like having more of a lightning in your mind, and like more sort of mental activity, more kind of communication. You could be writing, creating, drafting, publishing. If you're in the world of like marketing or advertising, this could be a very busy time for you. But buying and selling, you know, branding, merchandising, this is all quite a signature of this Eight of Wands. And these are the ways that you can interact with the external changes and momentum that are particularly unfolding for you in the first 2 weeks of December. On a personal level, December really, really pulls your attention towards your inner circle. The Six of Cups and the Three of Cups, the fact that these cards are coming in reverse would suggest to me that both family matters, or family that we don't necessarily share strands of DNA with, but we are linked to our chosen family, our community, our neighbors, our dear friends. There is something to do with those areas of life that are really, really quite compulsively taking over on an emotional level for you, Gemini. Six of Cups, your roots, where you come from, your family tree. Think about the past. Think about you know, your emotional and psychological foundations, what makes you you. In reverse, you're really contemplating about, you know, this Six of Cups has been coming up for you, Gemini, in the last 4 months or so in a lot of readings I've done for you, whether here or on my private community. And it's about this period of life being more contemplative. You're thinking more about your childhood, your roots, your past, your upbringing. I don't know if I've seen it in reverse. So now that I'm seeing it in reverse after maybe at least twice, if not 3 times upright in your last like 3 to 4 readings, there is some sort of a change that's happened here. You've kind of said to yourself like, no, now I'm angry, okay? I was accepting, I was kind of a little bit more forgiving or understanding. And I think that's good that you've had a change in your emotional response to everything you've been processing, because you're grown on it, or something has evolved here. Maybe it's not like now I'm pissed, but like and now I'm seeing things in a different way. And the 3 of Cups upright, 3 little birds, we're happy out, we're vibing, we're having a chat, we're being social. In the reversal, there can be a little bit of mistrust. All of the good times are in some way, maybe I won't say all of the good times, but some of the good times are tainted here and spoiled. And I guess the bird imagery is about a kind of transient, sort of fleeting energy, and it really makes you think like, okay, so, maybe my past wasn't really exactly what I had idealized it to be at one point, or there could have been certain romanticizing that becomes very obvious to you in December. So I get an impression that November is very much about external, powerful, reputable, or professional themes coming through, whether you're embodying that or you are witnessing in your reality the relevance of those kind of forces at play. And it's a big focus on the outer world, how you fit into it, the structures that you're a part of, and the family dynamics for sure are appearing here, more so on your like your father's line, lineage, grandfather, father, that kind of a theme that runs through with those kind of generational imprints that are relevant to you. Whereas in December, you've got some exciting beginning to the month where something really kind of captures your focus and you're getting a lot of movement forwards on it, but there is a stop-starty kind of effect here. There is a kind of like need for you to balance optimism and pessimism, or kind of deal with more of a roller coaster effect where something is going really well, busy, and it's getting going in a really kind of promising way, but your inner world is in some way, you're disturbed by all of the uncovering you've been doing. You're almost starting to mistrust certain people in your either inner circle or people that have been pretty fundamentally present for a large chunk of your life. Siblings, relatives, people you went to school with, people you've grown up with or kept in touch with throughout your life. There is a disenchanting effect with the reversal of these 2 upright, very positive cards, but side by side in reverse, I'm seeing certain challenges emotionally with friendships and family, long-standing relationships that may not be fully what they seem anymore. And I wish I could say a little bit more than that, Gemini, but I don't want to kind of derail too much. I wanted to try and keep this short and snappy, but I'll leave you there, and make sure you're subscribed, comment, like, share, take some notes, let me know how this ends up resonating with you as time unfolds. Take care. Bye.